Hey guys, Biddy here, back again with some news, I guess. Bit of bad news. During the holiday, couple of weeks of holiday here, I started off with a new external hard drive to do my recording. Unfortunately, I didn't test it long enough, and I got a whole mess of footage that I had taken, made huge progress, and found lots of resources, built lots of really cool stuff, and the drive crashed. So, what this episode is going to be is kind of a walkthrough of what I've accomplished, what I've done. Unfortunately, that's life. It sucks. I'm unhappy about it, but what can you do? So, first off, you will see that my house is gone. I've torn everything down, put it over into the facility here, until I actually come up with a fairly decent design for a house. I'll just keep my bed in the processing facility for now. As you can see, I've expanded my food a bit. Need to chop that down, start over again. So I'm not going to be going hungry anytime soon. I have run out of lava. Processed all that through the geothermal generators, so I just went ahead and took that down. I took down all the piping, brought the pump down from the top of the volcano. At some point I'm going to be raising this to the ground and starting with a nice flat area for, who knows, maybe another processing facility, maybe something even bigger. I did, let's see, water strainers. I was talking about doing water strainers, and I did them. For starting out in the game, they're pretty decent. You know, they take less resources to start out with than solar cells, I believe. There's less processing to do. You just start out with a generator. The generator's, you know, basically any power unit, you're going to be ending up with a generator. But from there, you just add some planks and sticks, and you come out with 2 water mills. Water mills for a source of power, unless you make a whole bunch of them, are absolutely worthless. Don't stop there. Take that extra step, create an iron waterproof pipe and a tank, add them to the water mill. You'll have 2 water strainers at that point. Each one of those will pump out 2 EU per tick night and day. The big thing about that is, you know, the solar panels will only do, I believe, 1 EU per tick just during the day when the sun's up. So this is a kind of a, I guess it's a kind of a, I would consider it, I guess, a half a step up. This is a beginning game kind of thing. Right now, they're useless to me. I'm already generating a huge amount of power, much more than those could ever put out. But you just need that pump, and as you can see, I have this closed off. I forgot to do that when I first set this up, and it started draining this this riverbed here, so that's why the water looks bad. So I am going to be dismantling the system soon. It's just not producing, you know, any power. It's just kind of a waste of space at this point. Now, what I did do is a whole bunch of grid mining down at level 10 and 11. Got a bunch of good resources. I was able to create 4 low voltage solar arrays, create a bunch of glass fiber cable, which is really important for down the road because I am going to be upgrading these at some point to the medium and high voltage solar arrays. So that feeds down into the changes that I made inside, which is adding a bunch of bat boxes. I needed these. I created a whole bunch of new, oops, I need to add this to the system. I created a bunch of new machines, and it required a lot more power at low voltage. So what I did is I added these is kind of a for parallel power. It can send out more power at low voltage. I did have to put in a bunch of glass fiber cable because this is great when you're starting out, but to pump the power that I needed to be able to I needed to create this and bring that at least part way down so that the power would actually get there. The problem is there was too much of a power loss with that long of a run. So the machines, I added several more, and once those fired up, they just conked out. The power just wasn't getting there to charge them up. Low voltage transformers. I did create an MFE. That hurt. That costs 4 diamonds, and so it's not a cheap unit. But and again, it'll store 600,000 EU. So that's good there. And while I was at it, I just created the medium voltage transformer because I am eventually going to be putting an MFSU here. So why not? So I'm going to make it daytime here just so I don't have to hassle with the monsters. Excuse my cheating here real quick. Make that dawn, so make it longer. Okay. Next, let's see. I enlarged the facility. I added 1 bay. Part of the reason was I knew I was going to need some extra space, so I just figured I would do it early. Do it now, get it done with, so I don't have a lot of reorganizing to do later. I also created a battery box and some solar panels. This is out of the Red Power 2 mod. Reason for this is I have a retriever, and I'll be showing that in a bit. So much for the ladder. Alright. Next, I changed the lighting. I changed the lighting pattern because I was getting creatures spawning. And, with the extra bay, I just needed the extra light anyways. So what I did is, let's see, it's every 6 and I staggered them, so it gets at the floor, the light level is at 8. So no creatures are going to be spawning here anymore. Now, what I've done is I've created a whole sorting processing facility based on Red Power pneumatic tubes. This here is eventually going to be an ender chest because what I'm going to do is actually create several ender chests and attach them to, yes, I have created a quarry. That hurt as well. I'll explain how I got all these resources in a bit. It took several hours of grid mining, and it was boring, excruciatingly boring. Anyways, this is going to be an ender chest. I'm going to close this hole here, and that along with an ender pouch, it's just going to be a sweet system. Everything is going to be automatically sorted. The way it works is well, first off, I got this idea from another YouTube user named Enigmius1. I'll be posting a link to his channel. What I'm doing is I'm doing a lot of research for an upcoming series on Feed the Beast. Eventually I'm going to be switching entirely over to Feed the Beast because I don't know why, but I like the system a little bit better. It's just it seems to be more, I don't know. I'm not going to get into any politics or anything like that. But anyways, what happens here? These are filters. I have 2 filters so that I can draw things out much more quickly. Those are feeding into a restriction tube, which prevents the back feeding. Say, something comes out here, by default everything starts going into the nearest chest or the nearest available whatever. I can't remember if things would end up backing up into here, so just, it cost 1 iron per. It's not a big deal. So I just created the restriction tube. The restriction tube adds, it makes the whole tubing system think that this is 5,000 tubes long. So, it's just not going to go into there. So those come out here down the line, and it's a passive filtering system. So I've got a filter. There's no redstone signal coming to these. There's nothing at all going to them. But what you do is you put the stuff that you want to end up in each of these chests. You put them in here, and as they come by, they'll automatically be grabbed out of the system. So, here's where I keep all the cobble and stuff, because I like to process a bunch of this into stone so I can make these bricks here. And for other purposes. I just think the stone looks a lot better than cobblestone. But then here I've got various gems and stuff that really don't have a whole heck of a lot of use, but I'll keep them anyways. Why not? Here are all my ingots and all my useful shiny bits. I'm also using iron chests because they hold as much as 2 of the wooden chests side by side, but the nice thing is you can put each of those side by side. They will connect, and you don't need to add that extra space between them. I do have an extra space between, there's 1, then space, then 2, then space. There's going to be 2, then space, 2, then space. You check out the video that I'll have linked in the description. It'll explain exactly why you want to do that. If you want to automate your stuff down the road, being able to draw out of chests, this is the way to do it, because you're going to be hooking up pipes to, you can make a stack of chests here, filtering virtually anything you want. Say if I wanted a single chest for each type of ingot, I could set up another filter here, pulling out, say the silver into a chest right here, and then on and on and on. I still haven't put all this stuff into the system yet. I need to do that. Now, down here is kind of the heart of the operation. This is my processing facility. I've got a bank of macerators, a bank of electric furnaces, and just the extractor and compressor here. These will come down. The raw ore will come down, get grabbed up by these filters, processed. I have one for each type of ore. Then, with this retriever over here, this is why I needed that the battery box and the solar panels up on the roof, because this does require blue electric power, and it also requires a timer of some sort. I have this drawing out from the front of all these machines. See, the retriever, what's really nice about it is you don't have to have a filter or a transposer in front of each machine this way. So it saves a lot of resources and a lot of space. And if I were to actually put something in here, say dirt, it would only pull dirt. So you just leave it empty and it'll pull anything that's available. I do have an extra unit at the end of each row for miscellaneous stuff, like the macerator. I need to make coal dust. Say I need to or macerate cobblestone into sand, whatever. Then create glass with this. So what happens is it goes into the chest upstairs, runs down the line. If it doesn't go into any of those chests up top, it'll come down here. Any ores will come down here to get macerated. They get spit back out into the system, down through the retriever, back up into the chest, and get sent back through the system. And then at that point, any dust will come down to each one of these. Those will be processed into ingots, sent back up into the chest again, and then end up in one of the chests upstairs. Anything that doesn't end up getting processed in some way, shape, or form will end up going through the end of the system and then into those kind of spillover chests, I guess you'd call them. Those are great for, well, not only just catching the stuff that you haven't been able to deal with yet. It's just kind of a dumping ground. Like, you know, the ink sac. Do I want to do anything with that eventually? Probably. Basically what this allows you to do is see, oh, okay, I forgot to deal with this in processing. Say I wanted to have obsidian come over into this chest over here. I just grab one from here and toss it in the filter and it's done. And then that's just an extra one, and in case these fill up I can add more here. Let's see, I think that pretty well covers it up here. I'm going to head down into the depths to show you what I did for grid mining. I made some changes, and that's what allowed me to find things much more quickly. So I'll be back when I'm down there. Okay, this area may look familiar to you. I've been down here several times before. I was doing 2x2 at level 12. Found me some, you know, some of the good resources, but it just, I wasn't finding stuff fast enough, and I was realizing that as I started digging down, you know, I'd find some more good stuff down here. So I said, you know what, let's try something new. So a few rows over, I started going at level 11, 3 high, 1 wide, and this is what allowed me to find lots and lots more resources. The reason I just went to level 11 is, you know, as I broke through and ran into lava, it wasn't going to spill over on me. It was, the lava level is right here. So, you know, if I were to break through a wall here, you know, you would see lava here and not. Anyways, you get the point. So several rows of this and a bunch of diamonds later, a bunch of iron and whatnot, I was able to just create all the really good stuff. Now I'm going to go back topside and show you one other thing, actually a couple other things, and finish up. Okay, I'm back topside. One other thing I forgot to show you was the famed dagger. This is a, whoops, oh crap. I did not mean to do that. I was still in cheat mode to get back here faster. Sorry. Okay. The famed dagger. A stick and a silver ingot. Absolutely worthless against mobs. Except for endermen. The reason I needed to battle endermen is to get into pearls, both for the ender chests and for the retriever. You'll see the retriever requires 2 ender pearls. It's not a cheap device, but as far it's absolutely invaluable for a sorting system. This I would not create a sorting system without this. So, going around with the Athame dagger, I ended up chasing down several endermen, and then a really great thing about that dagger is, you know, like I said, it's absolutely worthless against normal mobs, but if you hit an enderman twice with this dagger, it kills them. Normally takes like something like 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that. Now one thing, I have already taken it down, I should have left it up, is the quarry. I had an energy link. It's, yeah, right here. I hook up the energy link, and whenever I hook up an energy link, I always use, obviously, you know, there was power going into it too, but I will hook up a NOR gate and a timer. Reason being, if you just plug in your power to this and then hook, you know, plug it right into your quarry, it's going to pull the maximum amount of power that the quarry can handle all the time. It can be an absolutely gargantuan drain on your system, and it's just, I've found that this really works well. The NOR gate applies a redstone signal to make this stop, to make the energy link stop. Then you provide a pulse to turn the NOR gate off, which allows this to pull power from your system. And I like to set it to, well, actually, I don't even have this hooked up at first while it's building the frame here. But as soon as the frame is done, I'll hook up that NOR gate and set this to either 3 or 4 seconds, depending on if I'm, if I'm in a little more of a hurry or not. Typically, I'll start out at 4 seconds. What this does is it gives a nice burst of energy every 4 seconds, which keeps the quarry running at a fairly decent pace, but without sucking up all your power. It's just it's a really nice way of managing your power. So I won't set up a quarry without that setup. And I think that pretty well covers it. Another thing I like to do, is take a bucket of water, and just as things get started, I'll just drop that one water source right on the edge. And what that does is it, say you run into lava down there, which I did, it'll immediately extinguish that lava and turn it to obsidian, so you can mine a lot of extra obsidian as well. It can cause quite a bit of lag on servers. You don't want to do this on, you don't want to do this on a heavily populated server. In fact, a lot of servers will ban the practice. In that case, you just carry the water around and drop it down whenever you need it. So that's... Oh, and another reason to actually put it right here is just it's easy to pick up and drain the whole system quickly after that. I think that pretty well covers it. This next time, I'm going to actually get back into the series, start doing some stuff again. And again, I apologize for the sudden finishing of everything, but it couldn't be avoided. Like I said, I just lost all that footage. I'm really disappointed because there was some great stuff that I was doing. So next time, hopefully there's some really good stuff you'll see, and I will talk to you later.